Alberta Education Minister David Egan says he wants to study homeschooled kids. Egan told the Lethbridge Herald that research needs to be done to determine how well homeschooled kids do at post-secondary levels. What Minister Egan really means, though, is that he's looking for a reason to curb the homeschool funding in this province and rein in families that homeschool their kids. Clearly, Egan wants to discourage homeschooling as a choice in education, because we know the NDP aren't fans of parental choice or involvement in education. They don't like the idea that religious schools might teach religious values. The NDP are even using the PC passed Bill 10 to force their ideology onto students and religious schools, regardless of those families and schools' constitutionally protected religious objections. Bill 10, as you recall, is that bill that makes gay-straight alliance support groups mandatory in all schools, even religious schools, if a single student in a school asks for one. And it went on to lay the framework for the guidelines that allow kids and faculty to use the washrooms and change rooms of their self-identified gender. And homeschooled students escape being affected or indoctrinated with this law. So to fix that, a study with a predetermined outcome is headed their way. We know the NDP love a good predetermined survey. They did a fake one with leading questions to gauge the public sentiment about their climate leadership plan. To deal with the oil sands, the NDP set up a fake panel, the Oil Sands Advisory Group, and stacked it with anti-oil activists. You just know there is some serious fake NDP fact-finding headed at these homeschool families with a predetermined outcome that homeschooling is bad. So to get out in front of all this fakery, I started examining the facts. Let me save Minister Egan a lot of time faking a study. Facts say homeschooled kids do better than kids from conventional schooling. In fact, they're being actively courted by major universities in the States as a matter of school policy. Stanford University is one of these schools. So is Dartmouth. They have noticed that homeschooled kids have a stronger drive to learn independently. They have higher entrance marks and have a more diverse, experiential learning background. These major universities have come to recognize that homeschooled kids have both the high marks and the life experience that makes them interesting and valuable admissions to their universities. Homeschooled kids get higher marks on the SATs. They consistently have higher GPAs. Homeschooled kids are more likely to attend college, and they are more likely to graduate college, and they are admitted to college at a higher rate than conventionally schooled students. But this is what happens when education leaves the social engineering behind and focuses on actual education, math, biology, literacy, the real stuff. Kids do better and are better prepared. Oh, and I have one last fact for Minister Egan that he may find relevant. While the common misconception is that families choose to homeschool because of religious reasons, this is not always the case. And increasing numbers of families choose homeschooling because they feel there is a lack of academic rigor and focus in conventional schools, that neither religious schools nor public schools can meet the needs of their children. If an education minister were concerned about educational outcomes, as they should be, it's sort of their whole job, then the education minister should actively encourage homeschooling because it has better outcomes and it's cheaper in the long run. Instead, David Egan has done none of that. He has consistently butted heads with the homeschool community, picking fights with them wherever and whenever he can. Leave homeschoolers alone. Better support them if you want to. If a government has its heart set on studying them, they should study ways to implement homeschoolers' best practices into conventional schools. For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.